So yeah, today we're on a tributary to the Susquehanna River. April is an awesome month for smallmouth bass. So they're coming in, the water's warming up, the metabolism's jumping. They're really hungry, so we throw a lot of bigger flies, a lot more bait fish stuff. So the crayfish as well aren't moving yet; they're still in the mud. So the main food source is bait fish. So we're kind of targeting that. Aggressive, want to get as much protein in their system as they can, and then on top of that, feeding frenzy. They're also coming in these tributaries to spawn, so you've got this hormonal, angry fish that's very territorial of where they set up. They're very territorial of their migration and things coming in and out of their their field of view. So you get a hungry and an angry hormonal fish, and then you get pretty much the perfect predator when it comes to targeting with a fly. So just like steelhead, I like to use that as an example for people when it talks about the spawn, because you get a really bad rep when you hear the word spawn and fishing, whether you're pre-spawn, fishing the migration, from people ripping fish off of the reds and stuff like that. But what we're doing in the springtime is actually just targeting that migration. As soon as we see these bass on the reds, we quit fishing. We go back to trout fishing or tying flies. But the migration of these fish is identical to the migration of a steelhead. They're coming out of a big body of water into a tributary to spawn. So it's the same exact type of fishing. You're just in a drift boat, on a smaller creek, and the weather's a lot nicer. So it's going to be 75 degrees today and sunny, and we're having a good time.
Jake, you want to talk a little bit about what we're going to be using today?
Yep. This is our #1 fly for the day. So
now what's that? That looks like a jig-headed fluke.
It's a paddle tail fluke that we're going to use today on a fly rod.
You can't cast that on a fly rod.
I would prefer you not hit me in the head with this 1/8 ounce jig. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to use that. So today we're gonna use a couple various different bugs, but as you can see, everything in this box is pretty large. So we've got multiple different flies from a couple different tires up here. These are Pat Cohen's fathead deceivers, and then his 5-inch man bear pigs. Awesome bugs to use. Super noisy in the water. This row is pretty much mostly made up of roamers. I'm a little light on those right now, but they're there. And then we've got Tommy Lynch's Drunken Disorderly down here. I've got a couple of Mike Schmidt's double deceivers, things like that. Use that type of stuff a lot. But over here is kind of my pride and joy side. So we've got, these are Blaine Chocolate's mallard changers. Both of these have been in a lot of fish's mouths so far this year, so they're not as pretty as they used to be. You've got a couple flies that are a combination of a few different things now. So this is a feathered game changer with a mallard flank back on it and a roamer head. So it's got a few design features underneath that laser dub that kind of make it that roamer. And then you've got your standard feathered game changer. This is one that got totally destroyed yesterday. So that's what it kind of looks like once once you catch a boatload of fish on it. And then these were tied by my buddy Brendan from the shop. So he ties a bunch of Mike Schultz's patterns. These are the Swing and D 2.0. A lot of these are Swing and D's and Swing and D 2.0s as well. And then just a few different variations of game changers. So all big, white, ugly bait fish that are lightly weighted for the most part, and some of them have some rattles in them to add a little bit in there, but for the most part we just go with that profile being big and annoying.
And how are we going to be fishing these things today, Jake?
So we're going to fish them pretty slow. So most of the fish so far this year, because the water still is pretty cold, it's in the low 50s, might hit mid 50s in the middle of the day, but it's still pretty low. So we're going to be fishing these things with long pauses. So a hard strip and then a pause, a hard strip and a pause, and you'll watch those fish come up and look at it, and then as soon as it stops moving, that's when they eat it. So it's a connection thing. So we're not going to be ripping them really fast. We're going to hit the banks, one hard strip off the bank and let it pause. And a lot of times this time of year, those fish are right on the bank, so you could get them on that very first strip. But they're going to be super slow moving flies today.
And the water is, what are the conditions today in terms of the water conditions?
So water's like 600 CFS on this creek, which is a little bit high. Average flow is probably 2 to 250. But I've noticed this year that it fishes best between 400 and 600. So we're kind of in that good realm. It's a little bit murky from that rain we got last night, but again, the past couple of days have been kind of clear, and I know there was a decent number of angling, or there was a decent amount of angling pressure on here with spin guys the past few days. So having this little reset of lack of visibility, a little bit higher water, can actually turn those fish on pretty aggressively. So hopefully, in theory, that'll be a positive thing.
So guys, we're gonna start fishing here. We got Jake's one float boat here. We're gonna work our way down here, head downstream. We got probably about a 7-hour float ahead of us, and we'll see what we can get into. There's gotta be a fish hanging underneath that tree. So when you strip it, how much aggressiveness do you use on the strip, like to make the fly move? Do you just use like a straight pull, or do you kind of jerk it to really make it?
I just do a straight pull. I may jerk it a little bit. I may do like a kind of what I like to call like a wrist twitch, right? So when I strip it, I just pull my wrist a little bit more, and it just kicks it. It just adds that, so you get that like long pull, and then a sudden change of motion, and it just kind of moves it a little bit. But I don't think it matters as much on what the fly does as long as it stops moving.
Gotcha. There's a fish. That was a pretty aggressive take.
I was gonna say, dude, I was literally about to say, good job on your speed is perfect. I thought you were here to take a big one. We'll take all of them. I love
so that's a baby, huh, Jake?
That's all right.
That is a nice spring spawn smallmouth, but Jake says it's a baby.
If I can hold this stupid thing.
I don't know how good that footage is gonna look. Oh, that was awesome. Did you see that? That was freaking incredible.
That's the one we came here for.
That was freaking incredible.
All right. You stay tight on that too. So you kind of gain as much as you can on it now.
That was awesome. That thing came out from underneath that tree. Guys, this fish was sitting over there in front of that blowdown, just waiting to ambush that streamer. Awesome. Good to go.
Respectfully.
Okay guys, I don't think I showed you exactly what my setup is here today. I'm using my Lamson Guru HD reel on my Scott Flex. That's a 10-foot 8-weight, and for my streamer I'm using a feather game changer that Jake ties.
Hi.
So the feather game changer is tied on with 0x tippet, and that's tied up to a small swivel, and then that swivel is tied on to a 7.5-foot Rio 0x leader, which goes up to a Scientific Angler Titan line with a clear tip. It's how would you describe that, Jake? A shooting head, or just it really launches out there, that line?
Yeah, I mean, it's just an aggressive shooting head for that. It's a little bit heavier line, so it helps push over some of those those bigger flies and stuff. And it's got a longer shooting head than some of those short compact ones that are out today. So the on-water line management is also still there, so you can mend it, roll cast it, things like that. So you still get the punch of one of those more aggressive, short heads, but you have the on-water line management of a longer traditional shooting head.
Nice.
Yeah, or you keep the...
Oh!
Yeah, that was cool. Right where you're supposed to be.
That was a good one.
That is a good fish, too. Where'd he go?
He's diving.
Oh, that's a solid fish. Wow, he's in a weird spot, but we'll take it.
thing's got some weight to it.
Big female. It's probably 19 inches too.
That's definitely the biggest one I've got today, I think.
That's a giant fish.
That's a hoss, dude.
A little bit over 19. 19 and a quarter.
Guys, this is probably the biggest fish we caught today so far. It's almost 20 inches, about 19 and a half.
Yep.
And that's a fat female pre-spawn bass here.
Good?
Yep. Beautiful.
Well done.
Oh, there it was.
Right on the briar.
There was another one. Look at them. There's two of them fighting over it.
Yep.
That's crazy. There was another one trying to get on the other end of the hook. That I've never seen before.
There he is.
Look at that. Two of them. That's crazy. Whoa.
One tail flip. Hey, don't drop your rod.
That is a heavy bass. Whew. Guys, that fish came up and smashed that game changer, and then a second one came up and tried to eat the exact same lure. It was just unbelievable. Incredible fish. Crazy fighter.
Love them. Bet you this one's close to 19 too. Yep, 19.
That's two now that we're 19. Relentless fly fishing, guys. That's what's up.
That's what we do. Here.
All right, guys, we're gonna get Jake here on the fly rod.
Try to do something.
See if we can get that other one out here. Look at that fish, man. That thing is awesome. Oh,
Happens sometimes. I didn't have my net man.
that's true. The net man's on camera.
Down the river is not always a bad thing, especially when you're doing something totally different than what they're doing. So like these flies present way different than any soft plastic or anything like that. So, you know, when people get all upset, oh, there's somebody fishing in my hole, we're just giving them time and then go back in and fish it yourself. Because we just pulled two fish out of here. Oh, we hooked. Oh,
Nice.
yeah, that's a big one. That's a monster, dude. Get this. And get ready.
Nice fish, man. Very nice fish.
Most of that.
Wow, that's a beautiful bass. Nice take. Very nice. So that's about a 19. You said how big, Jake?
Just shy of 19.
Nice fish. That fish just smashed. What was it? What did that fish take?
I don't have a name for it yet, but it's a sculpin thingy.
Sculpin pattern.
Yeah, white, all white sculpin.
Really nice. Nice work.
Okay. Doesn't have to be pretty as long as they go back.
What the heck was wrong with me? I don't know how I forgot that. Oh, that was awesome.
Yep.
That looked like a good fish.
Right here. That's good. Weren't here yesterday. Oh, yeah.
This fish is going haywire. Whoa. On an 8 weight.
break down anyway. Jeez, look at that.
Man, that's a hog. Guys, that fish hit that streamer like as soon as it hit the water, he was on it. I should say she was on it.
Yep, she.
Nice fish. Predator.
$18 and a half. Just like that.
Right on cue.
I was getting ready to pull it out of the water. You can definitely tell the water temps have come up. Come here, girlfriend. No. Okay, gotcha. Don't jump.
Another incredible smallmouth here.
Scarred up.
Tell you what, Jake, you're the man. Relentless fly fishing, getting it done.
I try.
Oh, there was a take. Wow. Man, look at the marks on that thing.
By 18 and a quarter, it becomes small.
I know, right?
Right, girl? That's a boy, though. You can tell because he's skinnier. The early July trips, super muddy. Oh, I saw that disappear. That was cool.
In the rain.
Where they're supposed to be, too.
Yeah, you definitely need a cabin here, dude.
Where are you going? I got it.
Oh my gosh, that is a freaking monster, dude. Look how long those fish are. That's crazy.
Calm down, bro. Dude, you might be. No, you're a guy.
Wow, beautiful.
It's raining. About 18 again, probably. Yep. 18. Alright, calm down. You're going.
Got one.
Oh, yeah, I told you. Not drinking coffee here. Oh, dude. Alright. Let's not come back. What are you doing?
She's beautiful. Nice looking fish. Pretty sure we both saw that.
Yeah, I saw it. He was like, just leisurely came over, was like,
I'll take that.
Try to keep them away from that, whatever that log jam is there.
Big old female.
Just fat.
Calm down, girl.
Crazy fat.
Make me babies. 18 and a half. 18 and 3/4.
All right, guys, Jake and I just finished up the day here on this Susquehanna River tributary, and we just got the boat out. Everything's locked up and ready to go, and it was an incredible day of bass fishing. It was one of the best days of smallmouth bass fishing on the fly I've had in a very long time, maybe ever. I've never caught that many big smallmouth that consistently in one day. It was incredible, and I can't say thanks enough to Jake Villwock and Relentless Fly Fishing. And guys, Jake is an ambassador for Woolly Bugged, and he's also a friend of mine. But let me tell you, this guy's legit. You got to come check him out if you want to catch bass on the fly in Pennsylvania, East Coast, and have a great time. He's the guy up here in this area, and man, I can't say enough. So I would encourage you to give him a call if you want to get out here and experience this. Now, we were catching most of our fish on his new fly. It's a Game Changer that's tied with feathers. And Jake, is that fly going to be available to people? Are they going to be able to get that through Orvis or from you directly?
Never.
Never.
The feathered Game Changer part is actually designed by Blaine Chocolate, and then I took a spin on it and added one of my signature flies, the roamer. I added the roamer head to it, so it gives it a little bit of movement. But they take about an hour to tie, so for me, that hour has to go in my fly box. It can't go anywhere else.
So guys, that being said, that fly was the ticket. If you want to fish it, you're going to have to call him up and come out on one of these float trips on the Susquehanna Tribs here and catch some of these big bass that are in here for the spring. So you're not going to find them in here any other time of the year. And to be honest with you, I don't even know if you're going to find them on any other type of fishing equipment.
We're waving to the locals.
Yeah, sorry guys, we're waving to the locals here. But what I was saying was that I don't know if you're gonna be able to catch bass the way we did today on any other type of setup, spin gear, whatever. So you know, Jake is dialed in. He's dialed in on this resource, so take advantage of it. So guys, thanks for watching Woolly Bugged. I appreciate it, and we'll catch up with you next weekend. See ya.